When millions of low-cost IoT devices rely on chips like the ESP32, what happens when security is overlooked? Welcome to Wandt, Quick Take, an AI-narrated educational video series exploring important topics in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and technology. Each episode draws from source materials connected to Professor Adam Scott Wandt of John Jay College of Criminal Justice, including lectures, notes, research, recordings, and earlier works. The series is designed for public education and provides a cinematic overview of those materials. This episode was assembled using artificial intelligence. The final narration and presentation may not always fully reflect Professor Wandt's precise views, wording, or intent. The foundation of the technology we are about to explore is already inside your home, operating entirely invisibly. The ESP32 is a tiny system on chip, smaller than a standard coin. It serves as the hidden brain inside smart locks, surveillance cameras, and everyday consumer electronics. Manufacturers choose it because it combines essential processing power with robust wireless networking. It handles both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth seamlessly on a single platform. That combination of high accessibility and extremely low cost accelerated the production of Internet of Things devices around the world. It allows developers to move rapidly from prototyping directly to mass manufacturing. Scale changes the risk equation. When millions of distinct devices share the exact same hardware architecture, a single microscopic configuration oversight doesn't stay isolated. It creates a massive, compounding vulnerability across the entire network. People frequently assume that cheap hardware lacks the power to support modern encryption. The reality is quite different. This illustrates the ESP32's internal architecture: dual-core processors, memory, radio modules, and a TCP/IP networking stack. The base layer contains dedicated cryptographic accelerators. These handle complex math for AES, SHA, and RSA algorithms, enabling secure boot and flash encryption. Because these features are baked into the silicon, the chip ships from the factory with the inherent ability to authenticate data and communicate securely. The physical hardware is highly capable. It provides a robust foundation for defense, proving that the silicon itself is not the weak link in the security chain. But those built-in defenses remain dormant without active human implementation. A secured chip does not guarantee a secure product. Developers have to write the firmware and configure the chip for production, typically using specific vendor frameworks to activate those cryptographic protocols. Errors happen during this phase. Integrators routinely leave the fault manufacturer credentials active on shipping products, or they fail to secure over-the-air firmware update mechanisms, leaving an open door for unauthorized code. Many consumers assume that a device running open-source firmware is inherently protected. While transparency is valuable, open code does nothing to prevent an engineer from accidentally leaving a debug interface exposed. We see the real-world fallout of these choices continuously. Poorly secured smart plugs and cameras are regularly hijacked and chained together to form massive automated botnets. The true attack surface of a modern IoT device has very little to do with the silicon. The risk stems almost entirely from the flawed, rushed decisions made by the human beings assembling the final product. This creates massive privacy exposure for individual consumers. At the corporate level, large enterprises unknowingly introduce hidden network vulnerabilities into their infrastructure simply by deploying inexpensive smart sensors in their offices. Digital investigators treat the ESP32 as an active crime scene, analyzing the chip for technical traces that persist long after a physical event. These embedded chips hold highly specific forensic evidence. They store local network traces, connection credentials, access logs, and precise timelines of user behavior. To contain this expanding threat surface, global regulatory bodies are stepping in. Agencies are actively drafting strict new IoT security baselines, such as the NIST guidelines, forcing manufacturers to adopt better implementation standards. When properly extracted and analyzed, a tiny ESP32 chip serves as a critical bridge linking local, physical crime scenes to the broader landscape of global cybersecurity policy. The technology inside our everyday devices is more capable than ever, but raw capability does not guarantee actual security. Understanding how these embedded systems operate and acknowledging the strict human responsibility required to secure them is the essential first step towards building a safe digital future. Like, follow, and subscribe for more deep dives into emerging technology, digital investigations, and the ideas shaping our future. And remember, stay curious and want knowledge.